What's the show name?
Happy Hump Day, everybody. This is Crypto and Coffee with your favorite crypto trading analysis. Clutch Crypto, got B. Wellington. We were right yesterday. What's today going to bring? Which is the title of our show. So, B. Wellington, show us what you got out here, man.
Well, we always start off on the daily because frankly, that's where the action's at to identify the longer term trend. And so as we mentioned, this pattern normally comes down, comes back up, rejects off of, the CMA here. I think it's the 13. Don't quote me on that. And then comes back down and retouches these lows and potentially breaks this low here, just kind of depending on what the momentum looks like. But that doesn't mean that we can't this is a daily candle. So, within this candle, anything can happen. But I think that the macro trend is still to the downside. And I don't think that we reached the bottom. I'll officially say that. I think we'll retest in this area here as well. We may even bounce from this area and have a nice run, up to the 1763 area where people think we're back on board and only to bring it back down. But we'll talk about that when it happens. But just understand that the macro trend long term, it just got rejected off of this EMA, and so these wicks down here are imbalances in the chart that we could get back to. So just be wary of that. If we look on the hourly, kind of a shorter time frame, as you can see here, I did on my other chart, I think I had a line. Yeah, a line here which represents this peak area. So we broke through the 50, we broke through the 200, had a cross, came up here. We had a kind of a vector candle, probably a lot of longs that got trapped up here. I did anticipate that we get back up into this area as well in order to kind of form an M to come back down, but that never happened. That's still a possibility. I wouldn't rule it completely out, but we are pretty deep into this, back into this area, this range here, this pattern. So we came back, recovered this vector candle. We do have another vector candle down in this area as well. So that further supports the reasons why we may get into this area. So we'll just have to see how that pattern falls out. But I do at some point anticipate kind of a move to the upside to kind of do some clearing, probably come back up and retouch this 200 or this 50 before we head back down. So there may be an opportunity for a short scalp. But risk reward is going to be the key. So I would focus on the ranges. I would definitely look at if we got the last week's low, maybe a little bit under that, depending on where what it looks like and some of our other indicators when we got here. This is a possibility, but our low in this range is going to be 876. Our high is going to be that 12. Oh, can't see 1280 area, and so that's where we're at. But looking at it right now, I'd be interested to see what Bookmap has to say. But I think we may have some, we may get a little bit of pop here. But I think overall, after that pop happens, we head back to the downside.
You think daily opens in play for today?
It could be, but if you look at the daily open, so every time we've had a daily open, it's come in lower. So our daily open was around here yesterday. It was on here around here on Monday. So they are lowering that daily open. These boxes here just represent the different sessions. So this is New York, Australia, China, and this is Europe. And then we move back into the U.S., which would be yesterday's session. So yesterday's session, we had a pretty big drop within the New York session. Looks like that could potentially happen again, but we may come back up into this range as well, because I'm sure a lot of people went short on this long drop here. So I do anticipate moving up at some point. So I would say, yeah, probably the daily range is probably going to be within play, because you've got a lot of folks that have probably gone short that are being trapped in this area. And so, in order to take out those stops, maybe come back up, test this 200 on here, blast through this 50 daily open, all that comes back. Maybe it's in this area here, so call it 1144 for that for that area, in which it comes back down to Ethereum. Let's look at this is a Binance spot chart, or CVD spot stablecoin on the hourly. All these are pointed down, which would indicate, and this is on the hourly, just updated, which would indicate that we're moving, further down. But these could change at any moment, so you got to be careful of that. But definitely the trend is down. If we look at this overall, we're kind of at those low areas relative to aggravated CVD spot. So we may see a little bit of a bounce from here, just because we're back into these areas in which it's bounced before. We never gotten back up to these areas. I mean, just overall, though, if you look at the trend, it's down. There's a lot of liquidity that's coming out of the market. From an OI perspective, as this price goes down and OI goes up, that means that, you've got some buying of the dip. You also have, some folks are going short. Other indicators will tell us a little bit more than that. If we look at things like funding rate, let me refresh this. Man, we're pretty positive across the board. So this may be a lot of buying into the dip that we're seeing, which would probably indicate that we're going to go further down, further down. If you look at the markets themselves,
the futures were up, but markets quickly started going down.
Yeah, I mean, we're flat. Looks like we're flat, overall. But you said they were up futures wise, so they're coming back down, which is pretty normal. If your futures, they generally sell off into those things where whichever direction it is, you generally get a sell off. Look at this. A Robinhood stock falls after Sam Friedman. Old Sammy says FTX not in talks to buy the online brokerage. Old Sammy's in the driver's seat nowadays over at FTX. Got a lot of cash, bailing out coins, right? I mean, he's acting as that central government of crypto, at least over here in the U.S. That's helping out, some of his buddies, that got over levered. So kudos to Sam.
Oh, Sammy. Kudos to Sammy. Cheers, Sammy.
Good old Sammy. I hate this thing. How do I move this?
Oh, no.
Okay, so here we are. So we've got gross domestic product revisions at negative 1.6. This is actually, better in line, right? It's still negative, but it's within expectation, which is what you want. 2.0 as far as the final domestic demand. So demand definitely has dropped off, which is the goal of the Fed. So the Fed's actually doing its job. The gross domestic income revision 1.8. So income's dropped as well, which would be consistent with demand drop. So this is all consistent with the Fed, in looking at, in federal, Jerome Powell's going to have some comments today. I'd be very interested to kind of see what comes out of that. But this is all pretty consistent with what they want to do. The Fed can do a couple things. One, they can destroy demand, right? And that generally comes with, unemployment. So expect unemployment numbers to go up. I think the target rate is, I won't say it because I've got it in my notes, but there's a target rate. We're not there yet. So we have more unemployment to go. So the employment numbers need to get worse before inflation gets better. Overall. And then we have, so this is Wednesday. So this is today. Tomorrow, we've got a lot of news. So expect some volatility. So anything that happens in this market today, you might want to be wary of, because we do have a lot of data coming out tomorrow, which should spur on some volatility. So, any drops that we get in anticipation of bad numbers here could be reversed on Thursday in order to get those shorts trapped once again. So just be careful of that. And, here, Fed policies path back to 2% inflation with sustained labor market vigor. It's all about inflation and it's all about unemployment. And as long as I think he's going to arb out the unemployment, meaning Jerome Powell, is going to arb out that unemployment until we get inflation under control. So, that's all I got on my end. What we got on the Bookmap side?
Let's check it out.
Bookmap and High Blocky.
Let's check it out, man. Let's do it. So here is screen 2. And do a high block real quick. So let me know when you can see a high block. Oh man, here we go. We're going down.
I can see it.
Okay, you can?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, cool. So as you can see here, we were up in this area yesterday during the show. We're down here. As you can see, if we zoom in here, lots of longs are still trying to get pick up on board, which is a good indication that we may see some lower prices. We've gone all the way into a negative $5.47 billion in cumulative liquidation delta. So hey man, like we were in the green. We were basically at zero yesterday, so it doesn't take long at all for this liquidity to just go whoop and out. So that being said, we are on the downtrend right now. Over here on Bookmap, we have some pretty nice support at 1100. We're testing it right now, and we're going to see.
We're still on high block.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
So we're gonna see if we bounce there or we just broke through it.
Look at you.
Yeah, man, look at that. But this is a good indicator. We did absorb a lot of longs in this, so this is a good indicator that we may have got a lot of people may have went ahead and went short.
Hey man, why don't you show it?
I know.
Sitting here looking at it.
Oh
show
yeah,
it.
yes. Okay. Let's calm down, homie.
Hey, you calm down. You're losing your focus.
Okay.
You're biased.
I am biased. Okay, as you guys can see right here, we just came down. We tested this. The big red bubble with the green square is usually an indication of reversal. It's a lot of people going short here. So normally, what they like to do is go ahead and flip this, and these are like the people that buy at the top and the bottom. So, however, the overall trend is to the downside. So this may just be some more people picking up a bunch of orders because, as you can see, we still have quite a few orders to the downside. So we may do a continuation further down. We're at the bottom of the session volume profile and the chart volume profile, as you can see here. So usually one of two things happen when we get into this range. We do get a reversal and come up, or we continue to go down. It looks like we might have some order book flipping going on right here. We have some orders that popped up right after this. There's a really good possibility that we do see some more downside action. However, we may have a temporary upswing just to kind of get these shorts out.
You hope that we have a temporary upswing. Look at him all serious. Hey, Clutch.
Hey,
loosen up. Where's your stop at?
So right here at 800, where we have a whole bunch of orders, which is right here, that's going to be in confluence with B. Wellington a little earlier when he was talking about us coming back into those ranges and getting those wicks. So let's pay close attention when we start getting down into that area, and we'll definitely be on the charts. But it may not be too long before we get there. We may be there, maybe by the end of the week. So let's pay close attention to what happens. But overall, it does look like we are headed to the downside. So you guys be safe, trade well, and we'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Until next time.